guys, you know as well as I do that at this point we have transcended the copy my homework but make it look a little different meme at this point. I am, for the record, absolutely holding a Frostmourne. I'm actually going to stop the recording and, through the power of editing, pick up some other stuff. And then, of course, Shadowmourne as well. So when I'm saying this video, it comes from a place of genuine, true love. I even have a Gen Grey main. I almost said Gen Gay main. At this point, we're at the copy your homework meme, but make it look a little bit different. And really, kind of the message that I want to get across immediately is to Blizzard or World of Warcraft, just go back to your roots. And by that, I don't mean whatever this copying 14 stuff is, because at this point, it's kind of blatant. I don't know what you were thinking by signing off on the animators doing that. Like, at that point, it's like, it's literally like the most obvious thing that you could do, in my opinion, and many others' opinion. I really want World of Warcraft to make me want to play it for World of Warcraft, for experiences akin to Wrath of the Lich King, which I'm a big fan of. Likewise, our theme for the light today is icy theme, with a lot of blues, a lot of cyans. I'm going kind of blind from all the light coming in on me, but yeah, let's get into the meme. Obviously, there are huge credits owed to A Big Coffee at Twitter for making this image that was on the screen that summarizes the changes really well. And now to get into them. First off, 14 is going into its own end of chapter. It is an actual decade of Final Fantasy 14 from 1.0 that went into the Cataclysm that was a Realm Reborn. Not WoW's Cataclysm, but their own Realm Reborn, with Ascians throughout all of it, throughout even 1.0 days. There were a lot of Ascian interferences and influence. The following of Dalamond, the mentioning of the Void Planet, the Ascians failed and burned out, which was a failed project, which is being then brought in as a job, actually a core part of the job, the Reaper Next expansion. I'm actually very curious to see where the lore goes with there. The Warrior of Light gifted with the Echo from Hydaelyn. Like, that is a decade of build-up, and that is what 14 has done. When they say it's been a decade of build-up, it literally has been a decade of build-up. This has been like what I've experienced from like day one. Like, it is huge. This Shadowbringers expansion is World of Warcraft's capstone. I mean, this Shadowlands expansion is going to be World of Warcraft's capstone. And to me, that doesn't make sense. The final saga was, in my and many others' opinion, the Wrath of the Lich King. I even have the sword, as you saw. I even have Shadowmourne, which I loved. I loved the lore. It wasn't something that I was able to experience as a kid, just, you know, being a kid and not really coming from all that much money, right? I mean, stuff happens, right? But how to say it? Going into, like... But regardless, I'm still gonna get comments telling me that apparently I hate World of Warcraft and I just want to make videos to watch it burn. No, I don't even get paid enough to justify me doing that. But back to the point is, when someone says the finale, it doesn't even make sense. Even when you look at like Warlords of Draenor, it was an alternative universe in a completely alternative timeline. Like, Gul'dan is doing completely different things. There's just so many things that are going on through that, and that was actually an expansion that I went and I leveled through a ton of times, because we had like the auto leveling like map pathing, and that led me through Warlords of Draenor that I probably completed on at least 7 alts. As well as I wanted, so we're gonna try that again. So instead of Thanos, we have Master Nips. Instead of Master Chief, we have Master Nips out here in BDSM armor, trying to be a budget brand Thanos from the decade-long Marvel build-up that was randomly hurled at the World of Warcraft community. My setup, I still need to do. I'm procrastinating that like crazy. So I'm gonna cut editing here. But it really kind of made no sense, as well as the camera during a lot of cutscenes literally zooming in on the nips. I was like, this is not what I want. This is not what I want. Am I gonna keep that in on editing? Who knows? But I think that I've made the point clear. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. It literally looks like you're just saying that just because the 14 developers said that. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to most WoW players that I know. Now, Endwalker is here, and they're calling it Eternity's End. End, shadow, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like what they say. 1 might be a coincidence, 2 is a pattern. At least in this instance, when it's this blatant of like a competitor game company, it's like, But then going through other things on the images, like we have musical talking like support NPCs here, the Amarantians speak in definitely like a musical tone. It's like or something like that. You know that that's what it's like. People are gonna comment being like that's the dumbest thing they've heard, but you know what? That is what they sound like to be. It's this image is mentioning rewriting the laws of reality, and it's like okay. But kind of what officially sealed it in my mind, which as I was saying earlier, I have no idea how this got past QA, was like the AZEM Soul Stone, which is like such a huge hallmark of like the Shadowbringers expansion. Like when that shows up, it's like, oh, that was like a, what the hell? My point is the stone, the AZEM Soul Stone appeared like 1-to-1 copy in like World of Warcraft, which was jarring for me to find out. It was like, what is this doing here? And see, I'm one to support like drawing inspiration from things. I mean, ultimately, how many ideas are truly original? I mean, not that many. You can be like, oh, well, this is totally original, and it's like, okay, there's like 20 other remotely similar things. But in my and others' opinions, this is blatant ripoff. And that's kind of like what I want to get to in the video, which is why I made sure that I said what I did at the start, was because I wanted to make sure that message rang through as clear as I could get it through. Is like, I want more Wrath of the Lich King. I missed that. I think almost everyone that I have talked to loved that expansion, misses it in some part. Part of that's going to be nostalgia. Yeah, the game design has changed over a decade. Of course it's changed. But the real question here is, where has that spark gone? Where's that passion and the drive for Blizzard to move the field forward? Because they were like totally like treading new ground in a lot of ways. I mean, they can be like blah 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 EverQuest, yeah, but Wrath of the Lich King was totally different than EverQuest. Like that was such, that expansion was so iconic. Like the lore, everything. Like, see, as I said before in the video, I don't know if I'm going to cut that out in editing or not, but earlier in an earlier take, I did mention that I couldn't play World of Warcraft at the time just because like I was a kid and financial stuff. It's just like, can you really afford that? And for me, growing up, no, couldn't. But how to say it, like I remember hearing about the Death Knight iconic class, which I was just like, Death Knight, like it summons things, like you are literally like a Death Knight, like one of the Lich Kings. And then like I learned about the lore, and like it had its own like Acheron. People are gonna read me for that, but it's something like that, and it's just like Acheron, something like that. But you had like your own starting zone, you went through all these quests, and it was just like, to me, that is actually incredible. And I remember being jealous of that, being like, wait a second, can't I be a Death Knight and like something else? But I mean, I couldn't play the game, so obviously not. At right now, I don't think that this is what anyone's asking for. Like, go back to Wrath of the Lich King. Harness that energy, harness that soul, harness that passion. That was incredible. That was iconic. That was so good that even years later, and I do this as my main leveling method for my ults? No, because it wasn't the most efficient way that everyone was telling me. They were just like, don't do that. So I didn't, but when I did level an ult, I remember that I was like going through like this one zone where it was like zombie Vikings and like Naga, they were like the mer people, and then there was like this one boss I need to like go underwater and stuff, and there was like this ruined farm and stuff. It was pretty early on from my memories there. But just like, yeah, also had like some other dungeons, like there was like a crystal dungeon or something like that. I digress. But heaven help me if I can remember the name of any of this off the top of my head, because actually has been a while, and that's with me referring to some of my notes being like, this town that I don't remember the name of, it was cool because it had zombies all around and it really made you feel like you were part of it. And I remember there was like a ship, like a dock city, like that was cool. But like, kind of like, to sum this up, it's like, go back to your roots. And by that, I don't mean whatever this copying 14 is, because I play 14 for 14. I've experienced 14 for a decade. I love 14. I love 14. But I want World of Warcraft to be distinct and good. I don't want, like, people are like, oh, blah, 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 this game rivalry. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, it means nothing to me. I want to have fun. That's the name of my game at the end of the day. It's just like, I really don't give a hoot who wins. Define winning. But for me, I just want experiences akin to Wrath of the Lich King. I want memorable experiences. I want to have fun. And that's what I want at the end of the day. And I don't like this current path. To me, at least, this is a little discouraging. And yep, that does it for this video. I am trying to use the camera more. Let me know how it went. Feedback. I'm scared. People, I actually, like, last night went over the comments and it's like, you look like Post Malone, you look like Post Malone. I'm like, do I? Or Mr. Beast? I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, take care everyone, have a glorious day.